Well, thank you all for joining us today for our workshop on public benefits. So today we're going to be talking about what are public benefits and understanding a little bit more about the benefits that might be available to you in your state. We'll also talk about benefit eligibility and how they make decisions on your benefits. We'll also talk about some specific public benefits programs and how to apply for these benefits. Okay, so let's jump into the topic we have for today. So we're going to start with, what are public benefits? So public benefits programs are government assistance to help low-income people meet some of their basic needs. So some programs offer financial assistance, while others provide services, such as we'll talk about some medical services or education and classes. So just want to note that it's important to remember that most of these public benefits programs are meant to support people when they need it most. They are usually temporary, though. They're not meant to be there for the long term, or they're not meant to be a permanent solution to meeting your basic needs. So how do they decide on your benefits? So most of the public benefits programs are generally administered by the state. So although sometimes the funds are coming from the national government or the federal government, the people that the state, your state is the one that is deciding and distributing these programs. So the states might have similar programs, general programs, and they have general requirements that they'll have to meet, but the state, your state itself, will decide on all the different eligibility criteria. They will decide on the benefit amounts, or the amount of assistance they will give to people, and they are the ones that make the decision on whether or not you will get these benefits. So with that, it's important to note that each state is different, right? The benefits you'll get in New York State versus Virginia are going to be different. So you don't really, it's not going to help to compare them necessarily, but it's good to know what the programs are and to learn more about what the requirements are going to be in your specific state. So today we're going to talk more generally about the programs, but for detail on the specific eligibility and benefit amounts in your state, you're going to have to talk to the local social service or human resource department offices. So usually when they're deciding on your benefits, they're going to look at a few factors. So as we mentioned, these programs are focused on supporting people that are low income. So the first thing they'll usually look at is your income and see how that compares with your family size. So if you're a family of 4 making $2,000 a month, they're going to look at your case in a different way than someone that is a family size of 1 making $2,000. So they're going to look at each application case by case, and that's how they end up making their decision, by looking at them individually. So they will also look at immigration status for most of these benefits. To qualify, you usually have to be a certain status. As a note, refugees, asylees, special immigrant visa holders, Afghan parolees, all of these statuses are usually eligible for all of these benefits. It's just you always want to double check and make sure with your local benefits office before you apply for something. But they'll usually tell you on the website or in the application details. There may also be other program requirements outside of these. So for example, they might have programs specifically for pregnant mothers or women with young children. And so we'll go through some of these programs so you can see what the eligibility requirements are. So to apply for benefits, you'll usually call or go in person to your local benefits office or human social service agency or human resource administration. You can also submit an application in some states online. If you're working with a resettlement agency or another organization, you can also ask them if they can help you submit an application, but just know that all applications are going to end up going to that state agency, and they're the ones that make that final decision. So an organization might offer to help you apply, but the state agency is going to be the one making that decision. Some of the applications will also require you to do an interview where they'll want to talk to you about the information that you put on the application and just verify that everything is correct. It's not required for all of the applications or programs, but just know that that might be another step you'll have to do. In addition to the application, they're going to ask you to submit a lot of documents to prove all of the different eligibility criteria. Most states will have a checklist, or they'll tell you exactly what they look for when you submit the application. And so here are some examples. So they'll usually ask for a government issued picture ID as a first measure. They'll also, a lot of the programs will ask for a social security card, and they might not need it right away. Some emergency assistance programs will be able to give you some benefits temporarily, but they're going to ask for the social security card eventually. They will also ask for proof of address to verify that you live in the state that you're applying for benefits in. They will also ask for proof of income, usually. So that could be a pay stub. It could be your W-2, your tax forms from last year. If you don't have proof of income, usually they'll either, accept you saying that I don't have income, or they'll ask for you to sign something saying I don't have income. And then they'll use this government ID to verify your immigration status. And then there are a few other items that they might ask for from you. So they might also ask for things like your bills or copies of some of the bills you might have. It could be a lease agreement for your rent or some utility bills. They sometimes ask for school records for your children if you're applying with your children on your case as well. A note that sometimes you'll submit all the documents you think you need, and sometimes they will come back to you and say, we need a little bit more to verify the information. So don't be surprised if you think you submit everything and they come back saying, we want more documents. So it can take a bit of time before you get approved for these benefits, and just know that's a normal part of the process. So as we mentioned earlier, the benefits are not meant to be permanent. So frequently, every few months, they're gonna ask for you to provide additional information to verify your benefit amount and just to check on your case. So we call this like benefit renewal or recertification. So technically, if there are any changes in your household, like your household size or big changes in your income that would affect your benefit eligibility, you're technically supposed to report that to the social service office, and they will reassess your case and reassess your benefit amount. So your benefit amount might change when you start earning more income. There are some limitations to these public benefits as well. So many of them have a maximum amount of time that you can get benefits over your lifetime. So you're going to want to keep that in mind. And again, it's that idea that it's meant to be there for you when you most need it. And so we'll talk about a few of the programs that have that time limit. So your eligibility for certain benefits and the amount you get will likely also change with your situation. So it's important to plan for that. It's important to think about, if you have an increase in income and your benefits do end up getting reduced, or your benefits end, you want to make sure that you're budgeting, right? That you're saving some extra money so that you can plan for any of for these changes in your public benefit amounts. For some tips on budgeting, we do have another workshop that we have both, and we have it live and then we have it on our website. to share a little bit more about some ways that you can plan for changes in your income and your expenses. And really, the biggest tip we can give is to try to plan for, the idea that your benefits will end, and make sure that you're earning enough income and have enough savings to cover whatever you need and a little extra for when that time comes. So now we're going to go into some details about a few public benefits programs. So we're going to go through Medicaid, SNAP or Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. We'll go through WIC, which is a branch of SNAP for women and infants and children. We'll talk about cash assistance, housing support, childcare support, and then we'll mention a few other programs that you might have available to you in your state. So we'll start with Medicaid. So Medicaid is a public health insurance program for people with low income so that people can access medical care. So although Medicaid is the name of the larger program, when you apply for Medicaid, you'll be applying with different insurance companies that offer Medicaid insurance plans. So that's why I think people get sometimes a little confused with this. So you might apply for Medicaid, but have United Healthcare or Fidelis. So some tips are to think about first, when you're applying, if you have a doctor you already like or a doctor you know of, ask them, do you accept any Medicaid plans? And then you can try to sign up for a plan with a doctor that you know accepts that. You can also ask around, ask friends, family. If you're working with an organization, you can ask them, of the Medicaid insurance plans, do they recommend which insurance company a lot of doctors or service providers accept in your area? So to be eligible for Medicaid, they're going to look at your income, your family size, and they will ask to verify your immigration status. So you'll just have to provide that government ID or the ID that you have to show what your status is to apply. So to apply, you can usually apply at a social service agency, or you can also apply at the health insurance marketplace online. Many times organizations might have a navigator or someone that can help you submit your Medicaid application. Once you're approved, then you'll get your insurance card and you can start booking appointments for medical care. So now we'll talk about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, which you might have heard as SNAP or food stamps. So this program provides nutrition benefits and financial support for you to be able to purchase food. The idea is to purchase healthy food, ideally for your family. So when you apply and get approved, you will get an electronic benefits card that you can use at grocery stores, farmers markets, different places that accept SNAP benefits. The purchase is for food, and so you can't use for like household items. Usually you're not really supposed to use for toilet paper or soap or anything like that. And usually you won't be able to charge those to your card. So your benefits, the money you get for this, will be uploaded to your card, usually the same time every month. You want to check when that is. And then you also want to budget, right? Because the funds that they put on that are meant to last you for the whole month. So you want to make sure that you're budgeting your food purchases so that hopefully it covers most of the food expenses you have. And when you get your card, they'll also ask you to set a PIN number, a 4-digit number that you'll use every time you use your card to purchase something. So you're going to want to try to remember that number so that you can purchase your food. So to be eligible for SNAP or food stamps, they will again look at your income. They're going to look at your household or your family size, and then they're going to also ask for some documents about your status. So they'll ask for your ID again. To apply, you can apply at a social service agency. Some places let you apply online as well. Just an added note that not every place that sells food accepts SNAP. So you're going to want to check. They might have a sign like this one in the window, or you can always go in and ask when you go in to see if they accept, because you can only use it at places that accept the benefits. So now we're going to talk about another program that's related to SNAP, which is called WIC, or it's a program specifically for women, infants, and children. So with WIC, it's meant to provide food, medical care, nutrition education for low-income pregnant and post-pregnant women, as well as children up to 5 years old. So this program provides some funds for infant and baby food and some services for pregnant women and new mothers, like nutrition education, health screening, and they'll provide some pregnancy counseling and post-pregnancy counseling. So similar to the other programs, to be eligible, they're going to look at if your family's income, your family size, and they're also going to want to see that you or someone in your family is a pregnant or recently pregnant woman, or if you have children that are younger than 5 years old. Your benefits might come on a card, or you might receive paper vouchers to claim some of the financial assistance for food. So it's different in every state. So again, when you apply at the social service agency, you can ask about how you will be receiving those benefits and how to register for these other services like these classes and things. So the next big program we're going to talk about is cash assistance, which goes by many different names in every state, right? You might hear as temporary assistance for needy families. You might hear sometimes RCA or Refugee Cash Assistance Program. You might hear it as safety net assistance. So there's a lot of names for this kind of similar general program. So this program provides financial assistance to help families pay for some of their bills and other basic needs, such as utilities, could help towards housing, transportation, those day-to-day things that you need to spend money on to support your families. So these programs might also include other services, and they usually do some case management or employment services as part of the program. They may also require that participants in this program complete some work search or work related activities. So if they see that you're able to work, they might require that in order to stay in this program that you show that you're attending job readiness classes or attending hiring days, with the idea they're trying to make sure that that it is a temporary program. The idea is many times to get you into a place where you would be earning income through other means and be able to support yourself in other ways. So TANF is one of those programs that does have a lifetime maximum of 60 months, meaning that you can only receive those benefits for a maximum of 5 years of your life. So that's why you'll also want to plan, because of course it's supposed to be there for when you most need it. And so it's there for you when you might need the extra assistance. But the idea is to get you, the program works to get you off of that assistance, so that if in the future for some reason you might need it again, you can still have some of that time left to utilize. So cash assistance, you'll see there's a lot of differences state by state, right? So each state decides on the amount of money that people are eligible to receive. They decide on the income requirements, and they even decide on how this money is distributed. So some states might offer might offer more cash upfront where you can decide how it's used, while other states might focus on using this towards housing, where they would either provide the funds directly to a landlord or provide you with cash to pay for housing. So again, this is one of those programs that you're not going to want to compare between different states. You'll want to talk to the local benefits office to get more information about your eligibility for your family. So eligibility, like we said, they'll ask for your income, your household size, your immigration status, and oftentimes they'll ask for a lot of other documents to show what your household expenses look like. To apply, again, you'll go to a social service agency. You can even apply online, but you'll want to definitely talk to somebody about the different eligibility requirements in your state or your area. And so the last really important thing to think about with cash assistance too is because there's so many different names for this program and it's different in many states, you want to make sure that you're not duplicating those benefits or getting the same benefit from two different programs, right? Because a lot of times this money is coming from the same source, right? From a federal or a national program and given to the state. So if you're getting the same cash, if you're getting cash assistance from two different programs, you're going to want to check because you might have to pay one of them back if you're duplicating. So for example, the matching grant program, which is an employment program for new arrivals, because it provides cash assistance from that same source and employment and case management, technically, you cannot be receiving matching grant program assistance and cash assistance from the state. So really, you'll want to talk to, if you're getting other services, you'll want to talk to either the agency, the organization you're working with to verify and just double check what programs you're eligible for. Now we're going to talk a little bit about housing. We have two more programs we're going to talk about in detail. So states often have housing assistance programs that you might be able to access. So similar to cash assistance, every state looks at this a little differently. So we're going to just talk in general, some things your state might have, you might have access to in your state. So one program that many states offer are kind of government rental units, right? These are units or homes or apartments that are either owned or subsidized by the government for low-income families. A note on this is that there are many people that are interested oftentimes in this type of housing assistance. So you might apply and be put either on a wait list, or some states have more of a lottery system where you keep submitting applications and they randomly select those that would have access to these units. So although it's a good resource, you might not be able to get one of these housing units right away. You might end up taking some time. And so we usually recommend, you can apply to some and see what happens. But again, it's not going to always be an immediate assistance. Some states also offer more direct housing vouchers or housing financial assistance. This might be tied to the cash assistance application. Sometimes it is a little separate. So this is when you would get either funds directly and you would have to find your own housing and find a landlord that would accept that payment. And then the landlord would also have to apply and meet certain government requirements. So similar to, like we said, it's run differently in most areas. So you'll want to talk to the local benefits office to get more information, or the local housing authority. And you'll also, want to get more information on what the requirements are so that you're fully informed and have all the information you need to see if you can apply. So they will look at your income, your household size, again, your identity documents, and then they have specific housing usually in a lot of states for people that have a disability or are senior citizens. So for housing assistance, you'll also want to check your local housing authority, which is sometimes in the same office as the social service office, but you want to not always, so you'll double check that. And oftentimes they have online applications that you can complete. So the last program we'll talk about quickly is the childcare benefits. So most states offer some assistance for parents or guardians that need assistance with childcare. So in most cases, they will want to ask, they want to see the that the reason why you're applying for childcare. So they might say, we want to see that a parent is working or in school, or they'll want to see some additional information as to why you need help caring for your children. They'll also again look at your income, your household size, your status, and they oftentimes have specific child care facilities that you can have your children go to for this. So because there are often certain facilities that can accept these benefits, there are oftentimes wait lists. So you might not be able to access childcare services right away. And similar to the other programs, you can apply either at the social service office or if you have an office for children's services or the administration for children's services.
و همچنین به این برنامه میتونین که در دفتر سوشل سرویسز و یا بعض دفترهای دیگه محلی هسته در محله شما میتونین برین اپلای کنین. و به خاطر که این برنامه یک برنامه هسته که قسمه که گفتم باید یک کم منتظر باشین و بعض از دفترات یا ایجنسی هست که برنامه را قبول میکنه تا اطفالتان نگاه کنه، از این خاطر یک کم انتظار از این زیادتر است و آنلاین شما میتونین که از طریق سوشل سرویسز شما به این برنامه اپلای کنید.
So a bit related, but not exactly this child care benefit, but there is a child or dependent tax credit. If you arrived after July 31st, 2021, you're likely not eligible for it from 2021, but you may be eligible next tax year. And so what this really is it gives a little extra money to families that have children and to help cover some of those other expenses that come up when caring for your children. So like we said, you probably aren't eligible for 2021, but for 2022, when you file taxes in January of next year, you might be able to get some money back for all the expenses, for some of the expenses related to caring for your children. So those are just some benefits that you might have available to you in your state. These are some other benefits that you might have access to. So there's Social Security income, which is focused on providing some assistance to people that are disabled, or as you get older, there's also Social Security income for when you retire or a senior. There's some utility savings programs in your state that might help with home energy costs. And then there's also this internet access assistance, the Affordable Connectivity Program. And you can actually go on that website to see if you're eligible for some assistance with internet access. So just to summarize what we learned today, we learned a bit about what public benefits are, how they decide on eligibility and how that differs state by state, and as well as the benefit amount that you could expect to receive state by state. We talked about renewal and recertification, some of those benefit limitations, and a few of these specific benefit programs. And lastly, just to re-emphasize that these programs are meant to be there for you when your family most needs it, right? When you need support in meeting your basic needs and expenses. But we also want to make sure that you all are planning for the fact that these are temporary and not meant to be a permanent solution to meeting all of your needs. So, in addition to knowing what your benefit access and what your rights are to access these benefits, you also want to start planning for the idea that you're one day not going to have these, and then planning to support yourself and setting up a good financial security so you can support yourselves and your families.